How we doing, everybody? This is Maurice back again, and actually, this is a different bit of content for me. It's my first time doing a review of a board game. I've done previews and ranked heroes from Marvel Champions, but this is a little outside of what you all may be accustomed to seeing from me. So, um, yeah, this is going to be fun. A friend of mine and I just got through finishing our campaign with Sleeping Gods, which is what I'll be reviewing today. And that game was phenomenal. Um, the price tag for this game, if you can find it, is roughly about $89, $90, somewhere around there, which you'll probably be spending maybe more if you're looking to buy it off of somebody. But it's kind of a hard to find game right now. But it was a phenomenal experience. We played maybe 3 nights over the course of 3 different nights to be able to finish this campaign. Each session was maybe 4 to 5 hours to play through. But this game was amazing. I don't play a lot of choose your own adventure kind of games, but this felt like a RPG on the table, so to speak. So the game is about, you're playing as Captain Odessa and her crew of traveling across the seas, and you end up in this foreign land. You don't know where you're at. You don't know what's happening. Some old lady pull a night crawler and just poofs in front of you, and she's telling you that you're in this foreign land, and you need the help of the gods of this area to leave, and you have to wake them up because right now they're in a slumber, and you need to collect totems to be able to wake them up, and then she night crawlers out of there again. And from there you go and travel around, and it's cool because the game plays out on this storybook. So it's a spiral notebook with that's a map, and you flip through pages as you go through travel in the area, and you have a storybook. So whenever you go to these different places, there's numbers that represent where you need to read from. So I would highly encourage, if you have somebody that you're playing with that's an animated reader, that changes everything. I had a friend that I played with, and he's a very animated reader, so that helped with me. I know some people enjoy the sound of my voice, but my reading is atrocious, so it actually helped that he was able to go through and read off some of the nonsense that was happening to us across this adventure. But yeah, the game takes place across 4 different actions that you go through. So you can go to a different part of the ship, and there are 6 different parts that you can go to that all does these different actions. So you can heal somebody, you can search the ship and try to find some resources. You can gain what the game have as command tokens, which helps you do certain actions throughout the game to help you with combat or whatever the case may be. You reap the benefits, draw a card, and then you have to pull a card from what they call the event deck. And the game takes place across 3 different acts. So you have to build the event deck. You put in like 4 or 5 easy cards, and then 5 medium cards, and then another 5 or 6 hard cards. So they're progressively getting worse as the turns go by. And once you resolve whatever madness that's going on there, because sometimes it could be just as simple as trading with these sailors. You may trade them food for gold, or maybe they're just generous and just provide you something, or maybe you're just an animal and you can just go and raid their ship and take whatever you want, and it may just cost a health or 2 on 1 or 2 characters or whatever. And then it gets progressively worse, where maybe there's like, and there's an exploding fish that hops on the boat, on the boat, and you have to either harvest the fish so that you can gain meat out of it, or throw it away. And then it goes into the harder ones, where there's something actually on the map now that's following you around, and you have to complete what they call a skill test to be able to get rid of it or to evade it or whatever that looks like. And once you're done with the event deck, you move over to your actions. So you can choose to explore, which if you're within the area that you want to be in or that you want to explore, you can use the explore action. And near these different landmarks, there are numbers, and that number tells you what page to go. Well, not page, but what section to go and read, so that you know what's going on in that area. And that could be you being at a town and talking with people, or you are approaching a shore and there's a ship being attacked by some huge monster with tentacles, and you can either keep on going about your business, minding your own business, or you can help them fight. And sometimes that gains you experience, and you can use experience to pay for cards to be able to upgrade all the characters. Because there's the captain that if you're playing multiplayer, you can share between all the different the people at the table, and then there's another 8 characters that you can divide up. If you're playing with 4 people, each person get 2. If you're playing with 3, divvy it up as best as you can, and if it's 2 of you all, then you each have 4 people. Or if you're rolling solo, you control all 9 of them, then it is what it is. But yeah, so you can go ahead and explore whatever area that you're at, learn the story that's in the area. You can travel, and if you're near a port, you can do some of the port actions. So that comes down to paying money to heal your ship. Sometimes there's waters that are dangerous that causes ship damage. You can pay money to heal your characters. You can go to the market and buy things. That may be weapons or recipes that you can use to heal your team or remove fatigue from your characters, because they have what they call skill tests, which there are certain situations that happen where you may have to use one of the skills. They use strength, cunning, savvy, craft, and perception. So if you're fighting somebody, you may have to use strength, or if you're searching for something, you may have to use perception. And the way that works is each character have a certain number of those traits that represent those different skills, and you can commit them to that particular test, but you have to quote unquote exhaust them to be able to do the test. And there's what they call a fate deck, and a lot of the different mechanics, you just flip over the top card, and whatever that top number is affect the score. So if you do a test, you commit 2 people, and you got a strength of 4, and you need a strength of 7 to pass. You flip over the top part of the fate deck, and let's say you got a 6. Now your score has been boosted to a 10, so you pass the test, and now you have you reap whatever benefits are there. And if you fail, a lot of times your people are getting hurt. But yeah, so that's pretty much how the turns work. You take an action on the ship. Then you resolve whatever event card goes around, and then you can choose to explore an area that you're in. You can choose to move around. You can choose to, if you're at a port, go to the port and resolve whatever actions that you have compared to whatever you need with however many resources that you have, or you can choose to buy something at the market. And then it goes back and forth, and the game is in 3 acts, so you go through roughly about 48 turns, or 45. I can't remember if it's 15 or 16 turns, but you go up until the end game happens. And I think the game is so smart in what it does with allowing you to be able to immerse yourself in this world that was created. I think Ryan Lockett did a phenomenal job of creating a game where you start to care about some of the inhabitants that's there, or the mysteries of this new area that you're in. You constantly want to see what's happening, because the map is massive. There's like 13 different sections of a map that you can choose to explore. And my friend and I, within, I don't know, 15 or 16 hours of us playing over, the course of a few weeks, we only explored 5 of the 13 parts of the map, and we didn't even see everything that was in those 5 parts, right? So the map is massive, and it encourages you to play multiple campaigns to be able to, take in and get your money's worth out of this game. They sunk in a lot to it. I think the roughest part about this game may be, or maybe the polarizing, I think would be the best word, is the combat. So the combat is each monster or person that you fight, they have a 3x3 grid, and they may have like hearts that represent their health within those grids, or they may have effects that they can give to your heroes that could stun them or weaken them or frighten them, and that have certain effects on the characters, or just flat out do ship damage. So you try to fill up as much damage as you can with the amount of combat tokens that you have, because you start the game with 4, or I guess you start the combat with 4 of them, so you can only assign 4 people to be able to do attacks, and then if you don't kill the enemies within that particular round, then they strike back and hit whoever you decide to assign the damage to, and then it's a back and forth dance that way. And if you choose to assign damage to a monster and it didn't kill them, then they hit you back immediately, retaliating. So it's kind of an interesting puzzle with the combat to try to deal out as much damage as you can without taking too much, as well as knowing how to survive in some of these encounters. And the enemies are so intricate and interesting to fight against that it was kind of a nice break from just all of this exploring and then just do something puzzle heavy. And speaking of exploring, some of the situations you find yourself in, all you can do is laugh. Man, there was one part where my friend and I were trying to get through this one puzzle, and we were going through all the options, and our people just getting hurt and poisoned. And we initially thought that one action was going to get us out of the whole thing, and sure enough, we were right. But we just thought we just put too much thought into it and ended up hurting our characters, which was crazy. But I think that this game is just rich with stories to tell within the main realm of the game, and I think that I will definitely be revisiting this again. If I had to rank score it, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I think that it gets the job done of a choose your adventure where you go around, just kind of searching what's going on and seeing what's happening and trying to finish the story. But it gives you a little bit more to it as well because of how well written a lot of the different dialogues are when you're talking to different people and collecting these quests to go on and trying to figure out where to go. And some people are maybe trying to mislead you, or they're giving you riddles to try to figure out some of the stuff that's going on. But if you love choose your adventure games, this game is amazing. I haven't played a lot of them within the industry, so I'm not quite sure how this ranks to other choose your adventure style games, but I think that this one is definitely worth the price tag that's on it. I think that this will be a mainstay in a lot of people's collection because it's a game, especially if you love it, you want to share it with other people and see their reactions to some of the shocking moments that happen, or some of the funny moments that happen, some of the ridiculous moments that happen in this game. And this game is full of moments that stick with you. And I think that, and there's so much there's so much more to explore. Even through your first time playing, there's still so much left that even if you play the game 3 or 4 times, you still may not get to everything. And that's okay, because every single time you play and you choose not to do the exact same route every single time, you're going to have a different experience. And it's just so much fun, man. So I highly recommend the game. Is this game something I would recommend as a solo game? Maybe not initially, But if you're familiar with the other Ryan Lockett games that's out there, if they play like Sleeping Gods, then maybe you can just pick it up and go and deal with it, because there's a lot of micromanagement with the resources that you collect, with the heroes that you have, with the amount of quests that you have. There's a lot for one person, but it's doable. So if you're willing to put in that time to manage it all and to just deal with it in general, then by all means go for it. I think that it's a game that's definitely uh that can be soloed, but I would also recommend playing with someone if you have the opportunity, because those epic moments that happen and the heightened excitement that could happen by experiencing that with someone else, I think it totally trumps it playing solo. But if you're someone that wants to make decisions by yourself, if you feel like you may end up being quite kind of a quarterback gamer, where you're trying to make all the shots and calls, then maybe it's better for you to play it by yourself. Which, to each his own on that. So, yeah, I highly recommend this game. It's so much fun. It's so interesting and intricate. The stories are amazing that I've seen so far. It definitely rewards you for multiple playthroughs. And yeah, there's just so much about this game to love. And I think that if you just enjoy good stories in a game, go for it. I will. If anybody asks me about this game, my thoughts will not change in terms of should they play it. Absolutely, it's at least worth a shot. I think the most polarizing thing, as I mentioned before, was the combat. And the rule book is pretty heavy because there is a lot of things that's going on. But once you get a couple of rounds in and see how the game plays, then it just opens up from there. But yeah, thank you. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for listening to what I have to say. This is my first review, and I'm looking to review more games as I go through 2022. There's a lot of big games that's coming out. There's a lot of games that I have that are worth talking about. I got a couple of Kickstarters coming through already, so maybe I'll do the Batman Dark Knight Returns next. But thank you once again. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts if you play Sleeping Gods, or if you have any questions for me. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.